Some years ago, I was part of a partner, and it enabled us to buy land in Jamaica.
I actually thought at the time that it was only a Dominican thing.
We actually call it Pardner.
Yeah.
Pard with a D.
Yeah.
With a D. My sister used to do one because how it actually started from, my older sister, Valerie, used to do one, and it's actually started from when my parents, they used to do it all the time, whereby when we were younger, they did it because they were either wanting to buy something or achieve something, and it was a way of actually saving. And it's actually passed down, and we've done it now. So my sister was controlling it at the time, and basically what we used to do was just hand her over the money every single week or every single month, and trust that they would be, they would give it back to you when it needed be.
Yeah, I had to buy a camera, a digital camera, pretty expensive, about £2,500. But of course I didn't have the full amount, and I didn't want to pay for it on a credit card, so just by paying £40 a week, but after about 3 months, had a hand and could buy the camera cash. Of course, I still had to pay the extra £40, the £40 for the hand every other week. But there were no interest charges, no credit agreement. As long as I paid my £40, because I already had the money, then it was fine.
The last partner that I was in involved my wedding, so that would have been about 5 years ago. It was to just help with the general expenses. And it wasn't just myself, there was a few others involved in attending the wedding. They also took part.
With a partner, it's just basically, when it comes down to it, a saving scheme. But it's very fluid, there's no legal bits attached to it.
It is all trust. And you don't know many of the people involved in it. I mean, I've heard stories of some of the new people joining, and they get in their hand quite early on. So if they only put £80 or £120, and then they take £4,000, what's to say that they don't just chip, get on the next plane to the Caribbean, and you never see them again?
Everybody is called a hand. And if you're the first hand and there's 50 people in it and it's £100 a week, that's a lot of money for the first week. But you know that you have to do that continuously for the next number of weeks.
It's all cash. You either give it directly to the banker or the banker's household, the family, or give it to somebody who's going to give their money to the banker as well. So nobody ever knocks on your door and asks you for money. You just know it's the time to pay.
I basically bought this house around 10 years ago, and it was basically, didn't have central heating, no bathroom, no kitchen. And during that time I was doing a Pardner. I'd kind of learnt about the Pardner system from my mother, who's now past 20 years, but she had been doing it would have been 30, 40 years now, long even before I came in. She had done it from my granny. So basically I was thrown a Pardner, and through that it helped me to buy my central heating system and pay for the labour, also for my kitchen, the same thing. They do have something similar in the Caribbean that is run, but I don't know how much of that is so now, because it's a real old generation thing which has passed down, but I just can't see the 20s and unders kind of continuing that.
Enabled our parents to buy their first homes, their cars, and to even do other adventures. I know my mother sent money to Jamaica to help with the housing situation over there. Our parents, who were the first immigrants from the beginning into the country, into England, in order to buy their homes, deposit, buy cars, and we are the next generation. We're not so dependent on partners as our parents were.
My parents always spoke about it in the 70s, but I don't think people generally took loans then. You know, there was always horror stories or, you know, the loan shark people, stuff like that. And also they just assumed that if they went to the bank, they wouldn't get a loan.
If you were a woman, you had no chance at all of getting a mortgage. Because I remember my husband telling me he had to go in with his mum, him and his brother, in order to for them to give her a mortgage. But then when they got the mortgage, she obviously repaid it herself. But that's how difficult it was.
There wasn't this thing like bank accounts and, you know, and loans and things like that. I mean, at the moment, you look on the television, you can't see, you every single time there's an advert for if you're in debt or whatever, people didn't really get into debt because they never really loaned money from the bank in that way. They had partners.
I think it kind of makes you a little disciplined in your own finances. You know that everybody else is in exactly the same position as you are.
It's more a community spirit, community base. You'll find it starts off with friends, and then obviously it's then from extension of friends how the Pardner works. And I believe that would happen within different communities, whether it's British, whether it's Asian, whether it's Black, Afro-Carribean, whether it's African. I'm sure each one have a similar setup. And it's just obviously something I think everyone's going to return to right now where we are with what's going on.